This video is presented to you by Design Right Logos, and in today's video I'm going to be demonstrating how to create this clock using Inkscape. So let's get to it. So before you do anything, what you want to do is go onto Files and Document Properties. Onto Display Units at the top right, you want to make that pixels, and then you want to take off the Show Page Border at the bottom of your document. Then you can take that off. And we'll start by taking our circle tool, make it a dark shade of grey, just like that. And if you hit Control Shift and make a big circle, whole circle obviously, shade of grey, so that seems just about right. Take the select tool, make it nice and big. Now put that right in the middle, and you want to duplicate that, and make that just a bit lighter. Make it a lot smaller. Well, when I say a lot smaller, just a bit smaller. Duplicate it again, and otherwise you can just press Control D. Make it a lot smaller, but also a lighter shade of grey. So just about that. That seems just about right. Then you want to duplicate that again, but this time you're going to make it white. Not completely white, about 2.5% grey should show. And you make it just a bit smaller, like that. Now that seems fine. So that's already a big part of the clock that we've done here. Now you're going to take this, duplicate it again, but this time make it black. I won't make it completely black, just about that. And make it really, really small, which would be your center. Yes, the center of the clock. Now we're going to make it about that size, I'd say. Then if you go on the side, you can get your square tool, make a nice rectangle, very long rectangle just like that, and round off the edges completely. You can take your select tool again, and we'll put that on our clock. Pretty simple steps, but there's quite a bit more to it though. So we want to make that a lot smaller. Let's see if we zoom in. Put it in the center of our circle, so if you press shift in your circle, you go onto positioning tool and center it like that. Now you don't want to do that one because otherwise it's going to mess up our clock right here. Going to make it go down a bit more by pressing Control and dragging it down so they don't move out of place. Just about like that. Can still make it a bit smaller. Like that seems fine. And make it a lot shorter. Just like that. Right there. So if we zoom out, that seems to look about right. Zoom back in. We actually need to make those edges a lot smoother though. Just like that. And now take our select tool, select out of it. If you zoom out, and you just need to eyeball it really. Just make sure that it's correct. Now what we can do is duplicate that again. But this time if you click on your shape and you see that white cross, you want to move that in the center of the circle. So right about here. And like this, as you rotate it, it rotates around just like that. But you want to make that a lot bigger. So like, well, when I mean bigger, I mean longer, like this, and then you rotate it around like that. See, that seems fine, right there. And then get your circle tool. Oh wait, got that wrong. Press on that square tool, and see if you can edge it a bit better, just like that. Now that seems a lot better here. Looks like our clock is taking shape. Now this is not exactly right here. We want to make sure that it's just dead center. And the same for that one, because you can see the edges right here, how this is moving out. So shift, make it go down a little. Now if we zoom out, and that's actually looking quite good. See if we can make that a bit bigger. No, we can't. Okay, so actually that looks fine. So now what we want to do, as shown in this logo here, we want to do the marks here at the time. There's 4 of them, and they should be pretty easy and simple. So to do that, what you're going to want to do is go into File, Document Properties, and where it says Grids, you press on that, and you just want to make a rectangular grid. What you have to do is press New, and it should show up. But what you want to do on the spacing Y, do 20. Same for X, 20. But on origin Y and X, you want to do 10. So 10 and 10 here, just like that. So what we want to do over here is basically select all of this. Oh, what did I do? Select your clock and combine it using this tool right here. And like this, if you press Control Shift, you can make it smaller. Oh, and take off the snapping, because that's going to be a bit of a problem otherwise. And you want it just about right. You want it to fit in one of those squares right here, like that. So that seems fine. So we'll make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So about 12 squares, and you want it right in the middle, like that. So basically that grid is just going to be our marking, so that will position everything right, basically. So once you've done that, you take the square tool, make a square, just random one, and you want to rough up these edges. Take the opacity down, going on the paint tool, opacity right down, well, about 50%, right? That's it, 50% like that. Now you can take your select tool and position it right inside that square right there. That one here. So like this, we can zoom into it and put it into that square. Right there, if it fits. That's it. That's just about right. Like this. Now you can duplicate that. Oh wait, we need to undo all of them. So like this, you press. So that's combine and that's break apart basically, so that you get all your different shapes. You can duplicate that one, bring it all the way up, zoom all the way back in, and make it a lot smaller. Just about that. Like that, that seems fine. And let's position it right here. So now you're going to go on Shift and click on your square, go on to the positioning tool, and you want to make it in the center, which mine already is actually, funny enough. Now let's make this a lot smoother though. Keeps changing shape all the time. That's it. Now what we can do is duplicate both of them and move it onto our next angle, which would be right about here. And click on it, move it by pressing Control and rotate it anti-clockwise, just about here. So like this, you can see that's actually looking good. Duplicate it again, so pressing Shift on both of the shapes. Duplicate it, let's go down here. So now we want to delete all those boxes that we've made by pressing right clicking, pressing delete, or all you can do, what you can do is press on it and backspace to make it really easy. Backspace here again. Now we can zoom out, and we've got our 4 markings with the clock. Now our next step is the shadows, because we've got shadows behind both of those indicators right here. And that's actually pretty easy and straightforward, I'd say. What you have to do is go onto your shape, duplicate it, make it a light shade of grey, so right about here, and rotate it. But first you want to put that cross right here in the middle of the circle. Like this, when you rotate it, you can put it just about like that. So we're going to move it anti-clockwise just a tiny bit and send it to the bottom, just like that. Right there. Not all the way to the bottom because otherwise it goes behind all the circles, but like this should be fine. So we've got our first shade and now second shade. Duplicate. And you want a light shade of grey. Click on it. So you can rotate it and you can see that your white square or white cross is on the top left here. You want to just bring it about in the middle of the circle, which I would say is about here, just a rough estimate, and send it to the right, well, left, and that will be clockwise, like shown here. That's it. And then we can send it to the bottom here, like this. And here we have our two shades right there. Maybe we can put it just a bit more for that one, like this. That's about right. And yeah, that one seems fine. So now if we zoom out, we've got both of our shades on our dials. So now our next step is to do our light gradient on the top right here, as shown right here. So we've got our gradient right there, just to make it look a bit more realistic, let's just say. So to do that, it's actually pretty easy and simple. If you click on your outside circle, that one right here, you duplicate it, and this time make it white like that, and send it all the way to the bottom and complete bottom, so you can press on that one, that key right there. And then you're gonna press on your outside circle again and make it gradient, just like that. Now the trick is, if you click on your circle tool, you'll get this line right here, which you can modify, which will modify your gradient, the strength of it. So if we put it about right there, and that square right here, like that, that's actually quite good. Now that we've done it with that one, we're actually going to have to do it with this one as well. So if you click on it, go on to your paint tool and make it a gradient, like that, linear gradient, that's what it's called. And again, we want to modify it by clicking on the circle, bring this about here, and that's right there. And that seems about right. Let's see. We want to make sure that you can see the difference between those two circles at the bottom left here. So if I put it here, that seems good. Now for our next step, to see it better, what we're going to do is go on to document properties again and take off your rectangle grid by disabling it, and go on to page back again and change our background to let's see, a blue, kind of blue, so like that. I'd say a light blue, more like, yep, that's just about right. Now you can click off all of them, and you're going to take that white circle, duplicate it, make it like really big, the same size as the actual clock itself, right here, that's just about right, and make it a linear gradient again. Take our well, circle or square tool, it doesn't matter really, but position it again the same way that we have with all the other circles, like that. But actually, we're not going to make it white, we're going to make it a darker shade, just like that. So that's about 60% grey. And the trick is, you want to turn the opacity down, like this, maybe a bit more. Okay, let's make it a bit darker then, that's it, and turn the opacity down, right there. Modify this a bit maybe, like that. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now you've got a nice, decent clock, which was quite easy and simple, but also what I wanted to show you was the gradients that you can have. Now you can have different gradients. You have the linear gradient and the circular gradient, which looks like this basically. It's just circle. So if I show you here, you got it like this. You can make it bigger. Maybe we can keep it to that, just like this. So hopefully that was helpful. A bit more help on Inkscape, and stay tuned for the next video. So hopefully you can make better logos, and see you next time.